Did you League Start Detonate Dead? Did you play Mathel's deck stacking claw build and don't know what to do with all the gear? Then do I have the build for you? There we go, that was kind of cute, right? Two-handed sword, deck stacking Elementalist. Oh my god. This build was directly inspired by Witch's two-handed sword animation. Look at the way she holds this sword. Isn't that the coolest thing in the world? Even the way she runs is so cool, oh my god. Gary, deck stacking, didn't you just do that? Yes, but it's gonna be different this time. We're not deck stacking claws. We're deck stacking rebuking blades. Boo, 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 boo. What is a rebuking blade? Well, it actually gives you the bonus of attack critical strikes, ignore enemy monster elemental resistances, and Hunter and Shaper influenced swords actually have the mod of 3 to 5 cold damage per 10 dexterity as a prefix. Now, this sword we are going to be crafting the exact same way as our claw. We essence spammed tier 1 Essence of Hatred to get our cold damage mod, and we're looking for tier 1 attack speed and then annulled off any other mods over here. You can actually deterministically craft the dex mod on the sword. All you have to do is can have up to 3 crafted modifiers, prefixes cannot be changed, suffixes cannot be changed. We're gonna reforge as cold, and there's our dex mod. It's guaranteed, no matter how many times you press it. Then we're gonna remove suffixes cannot be changed and prefixes cannot be changed and remove crafted. And then you have to recraft the 3 crafted modifiers. Now, our choices for prefix crafting are limited. Our best option is probably gonna be something like increased cold damage. And then for suffixes, we have a lot of juicy options. What we're looking at is probably gonna be just flat critical strike chance. You're looking at a sword with a base crit of about 7.5%, 1.65 attack speed. So that's gonna be our end game sword right there. And that is a beauty. All enemy monster resistances are 0. There is no penetrating beyond that. Exposure doesn't do anything. Penetration doesn't do anything. You would be surprised how in a lot of aspects of a build, you slip in elemental penetration without realizing it. The classic example is something like Forces of Nature. Things of Frost isn't really worth going to because we don't penetrate. So with our deck stacking mod here and our deck stacking mod here, we get 5 to 9 cold damage per 10 dexterity, which is bonkers good. Now, obviously, for that increase in damage, you are abandoning a shield, so you need to make up for this build in other ways. And that, my friends, is where Elementalist comes in. Elementalist seems almost tailor-made for a two-handed sword deck stacking build. There are so many little tools you get here that are just perfect for the Elemental Aegis. I don't think players realize how powerful this is with spell suppression. This is really, really powerful. It ends up being about a... You gifted a sub during my goddamn video. This Aegis is going to end up being a little over 2,000. The main weakness of an evasion spell suppression build are elemental hits. Normally, this is made up for by going max block. And by going max block, you end up with a very tanky character with well-rounded defenses. We don't have that luxury. Primal Aegis gives us that elemental hit buffer that we need to really help out this build defensively by giving up that shield slot, and it just seems to all meld together very well. We are going to be going golems. We're going to go for 4 max golems here. So with Bastion of Elements, Liege of the Primordial, Elemancer, what else do we spec in? The dream is that we spec into Shaper of Storms for just a 15% more damage buff, and we buy Heart of Destruction as an ascendancy node from Forbidden Flesh and Forbidden Flame. But that main area of effect is just such a nice bonus. I'm specking to it right now until we get the jewel, basically. We are also running Fortify as a link on our 6 link. Because we have to give up cold penetration, we actually have a bit of wiggle room when it comes to the gems we're using. Now, there is one problem with this build that the Claw build doesn't have. In the Claw build, what you're doing to scale damage is just stacking dexterity and critical strike chance, and that's pretty much all you need for damage. This build scales damage in 3 ways: dexterity, critical strike chance, and critical multiplier. Unlike the Claw build, we do not get elusive. Unfortunately, this build is going to rely on buying our way out of the problem. We also are going to be getting Whispers of Doom because we're going to be running an Enfeeble, Temp Chains as well. We're going to be running Grace, Herald of Ice. We're also going to be running a Dread Banner. We're going to be Ultra Not Hit, and we have our golems. We're gonna be one tanky boy that's really, really hard to hit. And when we do get hit, we're regenerating a lot of life very quickly. I'm very happy with this build defensively. I'm gonna be honest. This is not a build to do cheap. As it is, I've invested maybe 15 exalts into this. These boots alone were 10 of it. So I'm excited to see where this build goes from here. We're also stun immune, God. Now, obviously, we need to address the elephant in the room. This is objectively the coolest sword in this entire game, right? Look at it, it's not even MTX. Look at how juicy that is. It's so beautiful. There we go, I think we got it. That's the video.